Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane and Transport and Safety Liaison MEC Xolile Nqatha objected to a Daily Dispatch story which said the Eastern Cape is the most dangerous place to live in South Africa. The article referred to the national statistics released by the national and provincial authorities, which showed that the Eastern Cape has the highest per capita murder rate in the country. For more on this, we are joined now by the spokesperson for the MEC of Transport, Safety and Liaison, Unathi Binqose. Unathi, good evening. Good to have you with us tonight here on In Focus. You say in your statement that you do not deny the facts that are presented by national and province in terms of the statistics, yet you object to the dispatching newspaper reporting on these numbers. Why?
We are objecting to that because we are not even the province with the highest increase in terms of murder rate. That title belongs to Gauteng with 24, just over 24%, and we are sitting at 18%. You know, these are just numbers. We hate the fact that we've been drawn into discussing those things. However, we also want to highlight the fact that the Eastern Cape is the most improved province when it comes to rape in the country. We are sitting at 13% decrease in rape, above the national average, which is just over 6%. And you cannot premise the issue of safety on murder alone when there are other factors involved when it comes to rape. I mean, we've spoken to a lot of women who say they fear being raped as much as they fear being murdered. Some have gone as far as to say that they fear being raped more than they fear being murdered. So we see what has been written by the dispatch to focus only on murder, when in fact, in reality, there are people who fear being raped more than they fear being murdered. And the province of the Eastern Cape has improved drastically, markedly, in terms of reducing the rape statistics. We are sitting at 13% reduction, and the national average is just over 6%. So that has to be taken into consideration. You can't say that the Eastern Cape is the most dangerous province to live in when we have made such a market reduction when it comes to rape. And even if you scrutinize those matters, I mean, you'll see that they are targeted. Look, we do not want to justify it. But
I'm taken aback, though, Unathi, I must really say, by you saying these are just numbers. These are not just numbers. These are lives lost. And they are indicating that in terms of the size of the population that is in the Eastern Cape, per capita, there are more people who are dying than, as you put it, in Gauteng. And you cannot then, therefore, say these are just numbers. These are very important numbers. In fact, these are numbers that should be telling you as the province that you need to do something about it. It's good and well to say, don't look at our murder numbers. Look at our rape numbers, which are improving. Because that doesn't help in you dealing with what is the cause of those murders to be so high in terms of the size of your population.
But let me refrain from that. Maybe I may have made a mistake. And indeed, they are not just numbers. We are talking about people here who have been murdered. And we are talking about people here who have been raped as well. And that needs to be taken into consideration. But we are saying that the issue of safety should not only be premised on the issue of murder alone, because there are many other aspects in terms of safety. And if you are to label the Eastern Cape as the unsafest province in South Africa, basing it on just murder alone cannot be right. Because if you scrutinize the issue of rape, you'll realize that the murders that are happening in the Eastern Cape are very targeted. Because the picture that is being painted by the Daily Dispatch, which is a paper that we respect, one of the iconic brands from the Eastern Cape, and we respect it a lot. But for them to portray the Eastern Cape as the place where when you come to there's every chance that you will be murdered. When they knew, had they scrutinized the numbers, they would have known that those murders are targeted. And the Eastern Cape has not sat down and folded its arms when it comes to that. One of the major contributing factors to the murder in the Eastern Cape has been the hits in the taxi industry. And when I'm talking to you now, we are talking about the Eastern Cape that has set up a panel that is looking into the issue of murder in the taxi industry, which is the major contributing factor in murders that are happening in the province. But we need to highlight the fact that the Eastern Cape is the most improved province when it comes to the reduction of rape in the country. And most women, maybe you and I, may not be able to relate to that, but if you speak to a lot of women, they will tell you that they fear being raped as much as they fear being murdered. Some will go as far as to say that they fear being raped more than they fear being murdered. And you need to give some credit on the fact that the Eastern Cape is the most improved when it comes to reduction of rape. So
you'll tell me how much improved it is, Unathi. The Eastern Cape towns dominated the sexual offences list around July or so in that quarter reporting. Komga, Mthatha, Maclear, Uchi, Port Alfred, Kamahuk dominated the top 10 list of sexual offences capitals in the country for the first quarter of 2022. How muchly improved have those numbers become?
Well, that's not according to the stats I've looked at. I don't know which stats you've looked at.
I'm looking at the stats that have been presented by a tool put by a crime check online amongst those 10 towns.
Okay. Let me give you the stats that I've looked at, that have been presented to us by the South African Police Services. They say when it comes to murder, of the top 30 police stations that have reported the highest number of murders, the Eastern Cape has 3 police stations, which is Mthatha at number 3 of that top 30, and you have Nobushe at 27, and I think New Brighton at number 30. You've got 30 police stations in KZN in that murder rate. You've got 9 in Gauteng, and you've got other police stations as well. Look, we are not disputing the fact that, and we wish not to downplay the issue of the problem of crime in the Eastern Cape and the issue of murder. But to say that the Eastern Cape is the most dangerous place to live in the country is just unacceptable. Had they said possibly that maybe the region of Wartamo, which is where Mthatha is, maybe we wouldn't have been crying as much as we are now. But the province of the Eastern Cape, to make that blanket statement is completely unacceptable, especially when you are looking at the number of the reduction in rape. You cannot discard that.
It seems to me, though, Unathi, you're more concerned about what is being reported more than being concerned about what the numbers are showing on the ground and what the police's response needs to be to deal with those numbers.
No, you're wrong, my brother. We are not. We are not disputing the fact that the issue of murder in the Eastern Cape is unacceptably high. The fact that we are sitting at number 3, one of our regions is sitting at number 3 in the national statistics is unacceptable. But there are 2 other regions from other provinces that are sitting above us at where we are at number 3. And we are looking at the next 3 police stations in the Eastern Cape, which are sitting at number 27 and at number 8. We are, look.
Let's say, Unathi, let me push you a little bit on this. Let's say we take away the tag. Let's take away the tag that the dispatch has put on you as the most dangerous. Let's take away that label.
Which is irresponsible.
Let's look at the numbers. The numbers still remain the highest murder per capita in terms of the size of the population. And what we need to be getting from you is what operational plans are you putting in place to respond to those levels of crime?
Before we go there, are you going to premise the issue of safety on murder alone? Are you discussing? Are you discarding the fact that some women, which you and I are not, fear being raped more than being murdered? And some will say, murder me than raping me. Are you going to discard that?
No, I'm not discarding that. I mean, I've already said to you that the sexual offences list is quite high.
Hang on to that thought.
Yeah.
Hang on to that thought and accept the fact that the Eastern Cape is the most improved province in the country in terms of the reduction of rape. At 13%, higher than the national average, which is 6%. Are you going to discuss that?
And those are the numbers that you're looking at. And I'm saying to you, then you can therefore not just brandish. These are the numbers, 13% decrease, which is great, and not deal with this other question that is also being raised.
In the country.
No, I'm saying to you, you cannot look at one aspect. You yourself are doing exactly the same thing now. You're saying, well, let us not look at the murder rate. Let us look at the sexual offences improvement and not discuss the murder rate. I'm saying let's discuss both.
But you have called us
because they both constitute
as the worst province in the country to live in, based on murder alone.
They both constitute the safety of the people.
Issue of rape.
No, I was going to bring in the issue of sexual offences. I had that as part of my list. So I was going to bring it, whether you brought it up or you didn't. I was still going to bring it up. Hence, I'm saying to you, let us not look at one, but let us look at both.
Thank you. Come, okay, let's go, sir.
What is the operational plan to deal with the high rate of sexual offences and the high rate of murder in the Eastern Cape province?
The high rate of murder is completely unacceptable. We are working around the clock to reduce that. It is for that reason that the Eastern Cape has set up a panel to look at the issue of murder hits within the taxi industry, which is one of the major contributing factors in murder. So we do not accept the high number in murders. However, when it comes to the issue of sexual offences, we will take them anytime, any day, as long as the number of rape cases are on the low, because we have noticed that the issue of rape comes in the way of grooming. So we have been on road shows to educate our people that when it comes to the issue of rape, even when they touch you, report that. So we welcome the high numbers in terms of sexual offences, because it means that our people have learned from the fact that we've taught them. When it comes to grooming and all those things, report them before they even rape you. So we are happy with the fact that there's a reduction in rape, but there's a high reportage in the issue, in the cases of sexual offences. So we welcome that, because it means that there is a degree of confidence in the police officers. There is a degree of confidence in the Eastern Cape Department of Community Safety and Police, and we are happy that there is an increase in the number of sexual offences. However, there is a reduction in the number of the actual rape cases, because we've noticed in Lusikisiki in particular, there was a high rate of rape cases there. And in the Premier of the Eastern Cape, Mr. Oscar Mabuyane and many other MECs, they went on road shows there to teach those people that do not wait for them to rape you. When they are doing things that may lead to rape, report them.
Right.
It is for that reason that on sexual offences there's an increase, but on rape there's a decrease, and we are happy with that.
Unathi, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Spokesperson of the MEC for Transport, Safety and Liaison, Unathi Binqose.